Alright, YouTube and Bethesda community, so The Evil Within 2 drops later this year, October 13th to be exact, which is Friday the 13th. Ooh, that's a spooky date. But anyways, Bethesda on Bethesda.net, they have released a list of the 13 things that we need to know about The Evil Within 2. Now, in all honesty, this video is more for you guys that are interested in The Evil Within 2. The Evil Within is a game that I do own that I've just never got around to playing. It's more something that I wanted to stream because it's a horror game. It's kind of interesting. But at least I'll learn names and things and shit to look out for whenever I eventually do actually play The Evil Within. Sebastian Castellanos has had a decidedly rough past few years. His family fell apart, he lost his job, and he was trapped in a lethal hellscape created inside of a serial killer's mind. Yeah, that's a bad one. And life isn't yet done kicking him while he's down. In The Evil Within 2, he's been offered the chance to right the greatest wrong in his life and save his family, but he'll have to step back into the nightmare in order to do so. Get caught up on the story here and see the full rundown of everything there is to know so far about The Evil Within 2 down below. Mobius is back and it's still super evil. After 3 years of eluding Sebastian, the true main antagonist from the first game is making its comeback. Mobius is a powerful yet shadowy corporation that says their goal is to bring peace and order to the world. They hope their mysterious STEM device, which allows for a shared consciousness experience by connecting human minds in an alternate world created using one core brain, holds the key to this peace and order. However, their true motives have so far remained a mystery, one that Sebastian is determined to unravel as he explores the new STEM world, Union. Small Town Big Mysteries. Union is the world that Mobius has created within STEM using Lily's mind as the core, says game director Joe Johannes. At a glance, it resembles a small rural town, but once inside, Sebastian realizes this place is anything but peaceful. What actually happened in Union and the purpose it was meant to serve are just some of the mysteries you will have to solve while exploring the world. Number 3, you'll need to dust off your detective skills. Sebastian's daughter Lily, who he had believed to have been dead for years, has actually been in Mobius' clutches and is now missing inside of STEM. In order to find her, Sebastian will need to brush the cobwebs off his detective shield and use every skill at his disposal to better understand the world he finds himself trapped in. That's where Sebastian's new communicator device comes in. It allows him to maintain a connection with the real world via his former protege, Julie Kidman, as well as learn more about Union and the situation there. Okay, so what little I knew about The Evil Within, I knew something bad happened to his family, like somebody got killed, or his wife and daughter got killed. I don't know, but it's kind of interesting to know that now the daughter is actually alive, and Mobius has had her the entire time, and he has a way to save her now. Number 4, unravel the mysteries of Union. Sebastian's communicator allows him to keep in contact with Kidman, but due to the instability within STEM, it will also allow him to pick up resonances of past events that have occurred within Union, explains Johannes. The communicator can be used to track down mission objectives as well as lead you to stories about events that have happened inside STEM. When Sebastian locates one of the resonance points, the information it reveals will help him piece together the story of what happened to Union and maybe lead him to some helpful resources. Number 5, you're not necessarily alone. Sebastian isn't alone in Union, and even though he might not think that's a good thing at first, he's not on the best terms with Mobius. The Mobius agents he encounters will be crucial to his journey. Within STEM, Sebastian will have to seek out survivors in Union who can provide him with information, says Johannes. Sebastian can interact with these people and learn about side objectives in the world, as well as new locations to explore and find resource caches. They also provide some insight into the horrors occurring in the world. So to me, that's a bit intriguing. I don't know if The Evil Within, like the first one, had like side objectives and things you could do, but kind of the old school, kind of the older horror games that I grew up playing, like Resident Evil and stuff like that, there wasn't a whole lot of like side objectives. It's kind of linear. You just kind of went down the path to finish the game. So knowing there's side content to do besides the main story is a little more incentive to want to pick up the game. Number 6, explore at your own pace. The Evil Within 2 offers much more flexible pacing than its predecessor, and the non-linear nature of the world will allow you to do as much or as little exploring as you'd like. How you choose to play the game, whether you race through the world with guns blazing or stalk quietly through the shadows while conserving ammo and finding every single hidden feature, is completely up to you. Early on, the game opens up with some big maps and provides you with options on how to survive, explains Johannes. There are side objectives to accomplish, and in order to stand a chance against the horrors waiting for you, you want to do some exploring. We're giving you the opportunity to scour the world for whatever weapons and supplies are left, and it's up to you how much hunting you want to do. Now see, I like the sound of that. It's not open world, but it's also not linear. They give you decent sized maps to explore. You can find, weapons and all kinds of resources and shit. I know it's a horror game, so the resources are limited, so you kind of do want to explore, so I don't know, that just sounds good to me. Number 7, but prepare wisely. This is a survival horror game, and resources are very scarce, but this time we have a crafting system that will enable you to craft ammunition for the weapons you want to use or you think will be the most valuable for encounters, Johannes says. You'll still find ammo as you explore the world, but specific resources are randomized, so you can't depend on finding what you want when you need it. With the addition of the crafting system, you won't be fully reliant on what you can hunt down on the streets on Union, which will give you more freedom to play how you want. Now this could really go either way. Being able to craft your own ammunition in a survival horror game just kind of doesn't make sense. The idea is that your ammo is very fucking scarce, every bullet counts, and be able to just make, even if the loot is randomized so you can't always craft the bullets you want or need, it still is kind of a bad thing. But they could be kind of holding back a little bit on the survival aspect of it to try to draw in more casual players. That could be it. I don't know, just speculation. Number 8, it's a race against time. When Sebastian first sets foot in Union, he learns that something has gone wrong and Union is collapsing in on itself, says producer Shinsaku Ohara. In the midst of this chaos, Sebastian will be forced to make his way through the horrific domains created by killers who have stalked their own claim in STEM. On top of having to deal with them and the monstrous creatures that litter the world, Sebastian will be confronted by his own fears and will have to find a way to overcome them. The state of Union is a reflection of Lily's mental state. Sebastian will need to track her down and save her before Union completely breaks apart. Now, obviously, I don't think they actually mean it's a race against time, as that would ruin the fucking game. Time limits are like the worst thing you can put in a fucking game. Other than like a platform type of game where you have to get to the end of the level in a certain amount of time. But like an actual just kind of regular type of video game, having a time limit, it's fucking horrible. I think they mean narrative-wise, it's a race against time. Narratively, you're supposed to be like rushing through the story and trying to save her before the world collapses type of thing. I think that's what they actually mean. Number 9, new faces of evil. Along with the creepy crawlies roaming the streets of Union, you'll have to deal with a perhaps even creepier human element, which O'Hara-san mentioned above. You got your first look at the killers who have carved out their own little slice of STEM in our cinematic announced trailer. Stefano, the flashy photographer with a proclivity for unconventional beauty, and Theodore, whom we'll have more details on in the coming months. Number 10, the stuff of nightmares. Stefano and Theodore both have their own creatures to help carry out their will in Union. Born from Stefano's twisted obsession with the artistry of death, Obscura's design could have almost been called elegant, if you had the same aesthetics as Stefano. Of course, that's just one of the creatures you'll encounter in The Evil Within 2. This right here is the monster they're talking about, and admittedly, it is pretty fucking wild. Kind of reminds me of like the mannequin from like the second Silent Hill movie, like the mannequin monster type of thing, but with like old school, like I guess camera looking shit. Stuff like this is kind of what drew me to want to buy the first Evil Within, is because it has that old kind of Resident Evil type of crazy monster type of feel. I know one of the guys that works on the game worked on Resident Evil, and I think that's probably why the monsters are so good. Number 11, internal trauma. In addition to the signature enemies, we'll have more to say about Theodore's later, and the more common enemies you'll see inhabiting the town, Sebastian will have to deal with his own personal demons in Union. As if dealing with Stefano, Theodore, and the denizens of Union isn't enough, Sebastian's own personal traumas from his past will be something that haunt him on his journey, says Johannes. Number 12, all are welcome. If you're worried about being able to jump right into The Evil Within 2, don't be. Despite having a deep story, The Evil Within 2 fully stands on its own and welcomes new players into the fold. Both returning fans and newcomers to the series will be able to dive right in and enjoy everything The Evil Within 2 has to offer. Though those who are new to the series may find themselves wanting to go back and play the original after finishing The Evil Within 2 to learn even more about Sebastian and his troubled past. Now that remains to be seen. Now technically you can hop into any fucking game, any sequel to any game and play it and probably do just fine, but it's a better experience if you know what the hell is going on. It depends on how much they throw back to the original, how many characters and stuff are from the original, how much they reference the story of the first game, how much like story matters from the first game, because anytime they mention something that happened in the first game, it's going to be lost on somebody who's new to the series if they pick up the second one first. So it just kind of all depends. Once the game actually comes out, we'll see. And the 13th and final thing that we need to know is just the release date. The Evil Within 2 launches worldwide on Friday the 13th in October 2017 on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Could there be a better launch date for a survival horror game? And that was the 13 things that we needed to know about The Evil Within 2. It's actually sounded like a really good game to me. Something I'm worried about with horror games is whether or not it's going to be a linear type of game, because that's a better setting for a horror game. But that's not really the kind of games I'm into. I don't want linear games, and this sounds like it's going to be sort of a mix of like open world. You're going to have decent sized maps that you can kind of explore. You can try to find resources and ammo and things for your guns. There's side objectives, which is something I'm kind of worried about with horror games as well, because I don't just want to play a game that just has a main story. I want to be able to learn more about the world, lore, things like that, and do like side quests and objectives. So that all sounds good to me. Hopefully this was informative for you guys. You learned some new shit about The Evil Within 2 that you might not have already known. If you want to enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Turn on my notifications. Follow me on Twitter. Links to my social networks are in the description. In the outro. Later, guys.
Till it come to conclusions, all the things that we thought we were losing. I'm a ghost and you know this. That's why we broke up in the first place.